Hey everybody, it's me, the Prez. I'm back. The move is well done, but the boxes remain unpacked. I'm Lawrence Prezman. You're watching Stoppage Time. Nick Borrman, Carmine Bianco, and the Irishman Kevin Dolan with us. And so much to talk about, boys, but I will say this. The last 10 minutes of us just chatting while waiting for the show to begin was exceptional. A lot of fun. Nick Borrman, how are you, brother? What's going on with your golf, your baby making, and anything else we need to know about?
I'm good. I'm pissed about yesterday. I lost a 5%er yesterday with a team that played awful, so I'm pissed, a little salty about that. But golf game's going well. The tournament this week, I'm doing very well, and I won a first-round bet on that yesterday, so that was a big payout. And things are good. Going to do some swimming this weekend in the pool, and the baby is good. We're not in the middle of baby making right now. We're on a hiatus until next month. But
okay, Nick, so you understand, you should be baby making at least twice a day. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work.
Well, okay, I'll go back
and
say that. We know it's not going to work by that. We know it's not going to work right now, but we are still participating in the act.
Oh, and that is the information we all need to know about. What's happening, Benson? Nice to see you, my friend. I hope you're well, Elray and Manish Ma, Mr. Tabati. Get me a shawarma with French fries in it, please. Send it over. I'll send you my address. I'm sure it'll be nice and soggy by the time it gets from Israel to Toronto. Kevin Dolan, what's going on in Ireland, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, literally, I'm glad this is the time of Zach, because like an hour ago I was crying on the sofa. My daughter headbutted me in the nose. I thought I might have to go to emergency. Like literally, I thought she broke the nose. So it's lucky I even made the show.
Well, you should have slapped her upside the head, dude.
Yeah. Well, she's not old enough quite for that yet. Like, she better not do it much older.
Carmine B, I've seen you this week. You're an awesome man. You had a birthday recently. I got you a pretty good gift. I would say I was impressed.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. You guys are all, you drove by yesterday. I was in the back yard with my niece. I bought one of those lawn sprinklers, and we just stood out there and played in that. A 5-year-old tired me out within an hour. But and then you pulled up with a nice bottle of scotch. I really appreciate that. I got a lot of scotch and whiskey for this birthday. I planned on not even celebrating it this year. I was going to take a mulligan, as Nick would say, and celebrate it next year. But I appreciate the gift.
Yeah, so head office just texted me that you guys were echoing. I have fixed it, but just so everybody knows, Nick Borrman really might like the look of his ears, but the echo comes from you, brother. I've turned your mic off, but if you would start wearing headphones, it might actually help. I mean, look, I think you have great ears.
Thank you.
Carm.
Thank you. Misty is ordering them for me right now, she said, so I'm just waiting for them to arrive.
What the hell? You
Missy's
can go
the
get
best.
$5 headphones from 7-Eleven.
The only thing I got are those stupid, the white ones that you get with your iPod that are from 10 years ago. That's all I got.
Dude, the ones Kevin Dolan are wearing are $15 Sonys.
That's true.
Like, you need
I'm gonna ask
Missy to
Missy
get
for
you
new ones then.
headphones? That's absurd. Nice to see you, La Maguina. Carm, who got you the best scotch? It doesn't have to be me.
It was actually my brother, my youngest brother. He got me a bottle of whiskey, number one, and then he got me a bottle of Johnny Walker 21, which aged 21 years. Very good stuff. My brother comes through each and every year. He gets me a couple of them. He's got like an extensive wine collection. My God, you go to his place, he's got a $500,000 wine collection. The man loves his wine, scotch, cognac. He's got everything. And you know him, Bress. You used to deal with him back in the day.
Look,
the
I
sports
love the
betting
guy.
days. So.
And in all seriousness, the scotch that I bought you per income capita, whatever the hell that means, is a lot better than what he bought you based on income.
No, listen, it's fantastic. I love that one.
I don't need to be patted on the back. Kevin Dolan,
No,
joke.
yeah, I'm not going to pat you on the back.
A joke, please, and then let's start the show.
An Irish guy, an Italian guy, and a South African Jewish Canadian guy walk into a bar.
South African Jewish Canadian guy wins. There's the joke. Let's go.
Mention no names. That's for the UK slander last week, by the way. You've offended both me and Nick with that. You know,
That's right.
Because he's like a 16th Irish. But they walk into the bar. The Irish guy is like, this bar's okay, but back in Kilkenny, he says, for every pint that you buy, you get a free shot of whiskey. The Italian guy goes, that's nothing. He says, back in Bologna, there's a bar that I know serves free wine from 7 to 11 every weekday. Canadian guy goes, that's nothing. He says, I know this bar back in Alberta. You walk in, all your drinks are free, and at the end of the night, you can even sleep with the bartender. The Irish guy and the Italian guy look at each other like, that can't be true. And he's like, it is, guys. It happened to my sister.
I don't know what happened
Well
to the South
done,
African
sir.
Jewish guy, but I'm assuming he's Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay, boys,
That's
we
okay.
got lots to talk about. We are going to go off topic slightly at times during the show, but let's get into soccer. We got a great promotion for everybody. The promo code is July50. I know some of you might struggle to spell, so that's JULY, July 50. Get 30 days of soccer for only $149. Regular price, $199. You can get Nick, Carmine, Kevin, and the Greek god, Pavlos. I really missed Wednesday's show because we didn't really get into Pavlos' dating life, so I feel for him this coming Wednesday because we all have to live vicariously through him because none of us are dating, that's for damn sure. Okay, Kev, you're up. 26 games this weekend. Spain, Italy, England, so much in action. You, my friend, are talking about Wolverhampton, and they keep making a push for the Championship League spot. Before I even get into this game, Carm, when was the last time Wolverhampton was in the Championship League?
I don't actually believe they
Ever.
have been in the Champions League, but I don't, not that I know of, since it's been, since they rebranded it from let's call it the Cup Winners' Cup or whatever it was called before that. But unless these guys can correct me, I don't think they have.
Yeah, I
They're-
don't know. I don't know that they've had.
I researched them on something. 30 years is something. Maybe that was Europa League. Maybe this was the first year in the Europa League in 30 years.
They had one of the best teams in the 50s because they had that Billy Wright and stuff. But I mean, I'm not even sure
Yeah,
if they qualified for Europe back then.
yeah. The 50s are closer on the 20 side than the 19 side. That's how long ago that was. Well, anyway, they've won their last 3 games and are 2 points back of fourth place Chelsea, while Arsenal has lost 2 of their last 3 games, starting to fall off. And Kevin, where are we going in this one, brother?
Well, this is actually going to be one of my plays for Saturday. We have a triple pack up, so this is one of the 4% plays in it. I really like Wolves here. I think Wolves are probably my favourite team in the Premier League. They're one of the most well-drilled, well-organised teams. I think Nuno, the manager's done a fantastic job. And probably the reason for that is we see so many teams, bring in these superstar players, Argentinian players and French players and all that. There's no cohesiveness there. And what Nuno has built up at Wolves with that Portuguese core of players, and he's got Irish players there and English players and French, but the core is Portuguese, and it's created such a cohesion that their starting 11, they're so well. We seen them at the start of the season, for example. They went to Europe. I had a lot of question marks about Wolves this season. Last season, everyone kind of knew they weren't your typical championship team coming up to the Premier League. They were going to compete. But this season, they had extra responsibility. They were in Europa League. Could they handle it? Because the starting 11 are good, but they're not a particularly deep team. We've seen them go to the Europa League on the Thursday. They came back on the Sunday, beat Man City 2-0 on the road. So, they're such a well-organised team. On the flip side, you've got an Arsenal team that have only won 3 road games all season. And all of those 3 road games came when they were favourites. They come off a good 4-0 win also during the midweek against Norwich. So, Arsenal have never won on the underdog all season long, as when they're not expected to win. So they're really poor. And to be honest, in this matchup, Wolves down the wings, the player that stands out for me, we seen David Moyes talk about him a few weeks ago when they played West Ham. Adama Traore, he's so fast down the wings and he can cut in, and the crosses that he delivers into the box. I can't see how players like David Luiz Mustafi can handle that kind of pressure. So I definitely see Wolves, getting some traction down those wings, especially through Traore. And, just overall, I just really like them to win here. But the thing that hampers me, the thing that stopped me making it a 5% play is Wolves' home record. They're 6-7-3 at home this year. We made a free play a few weeks ago on the Bournemouth Wolves game. And we said, look, you're going to make money on Wolves if you play them when they're road underdogs against Champions League caliber teams, top four. You're going to make money there. We cashed the ticket at the start of the season, that Man City game we just said, plus 2,300. And you're also going to make money if you fade Wolves playing relegation candidates at home. For some reason, they raised the game. Arsenal's really going to suit them here because Arsenal are an attacking team. Wolves love that. They love to soak up the pressure and counter-attack on the break. What they do not like to do, obviously, is break teams down patiently. Their home record isn't great, but I definitely think they've got enough to take care of Arsenal here. And I bought this. I cannot see an Arsenal win here. I don't think Arsenal have enough to win this game. I think it's 70 to 75% Wolves win this game. But I can also, could be 1-1. Arsenal might get out of jail through Aubameyang or one of those players. So I bought this line. The line's currently at minus 0.25 quarter goal. You can get it at Pinnacle. Wolves, Peckham. It's around minus 160. I did that. I think worst case scenario is a push. I like Wolves to win this game.
Carmine?
Yeah, no, I agree with him. There's no card here. In watching that last game against Aston Villa, when they played at Villa, the minute they brought in Traore, it just seemed to open up the middle there. This guy just has a force to him. I'm not really sure why he hasn't started, but I also get it because Jimenez and Yoda are playing fantastic. But he just opened up space, for the guys in the middle, and I think they scored shortly after. As far as I agree with them as far as their home record, but it's one of those things as well too that a lot of their games early on were at the same time as Europa League games going on. And when a team takes on that much more, with not that deep a bench, they're thinking about Europa League and getting a little farther. And sometimes you suffer in league play. No Europa now until July, until August, until that restarts and these seasons are over. So we're probably going to see them play a hell of a lot better as they make a push for that Champions League spot. So I'm all for it. This Arsenal team, just to make this quick and get it over to Nick, but this Arsenal team, they are, I think someone mentioned, bipolar. You don't know what you're getting with them at times, and especially on the road. They're not the strongest road team. They weren't last year. Surprisingly, they won 4-0 last time out, but that was at home. I had the over in that game. This is going to be an open game, so I may look at the total here in the over, but I'm with Kev on the fact that if you're taking a side, it can only be Wolves.
Nick, red card, yellow card, or no card?
My two favorite teams to bet this year in Europe: Atalanta, Serie A, Wolves, right here for opposite reasons. But they are a great defensive team. I'm 100% in agreement with this play. They haven't conceded yet since the restart. Of course, their competition hasn't been that good, but 0.3 is the expected goals allowed average they've had over those 3 games. They're going to win this one.
Super exciting team to watch.
They are, for different reasons. It's if you like football that's played with grit and I guess not flashy offensive firepower, and just wear a team down and slowly pick your spot.
Everybody loves that type of football.
I enjoy it. There's something to be said for it.
Oh, yeah.
All you can ask for, all you can ask for from a team is that they put in an effort every single time they're out there. And you see it with Atalanta, you see it with Wolves. They literally will play you for 90 minutes. There are teams that don't play 90 minutes, especially like, let's say, this Arsenal team sometimes on the road, where they just seem to wilt in the last 20 minutes. And you want a team that plays 90 minutes of soccer.
Okay, that was Carmine Bianco talking. Kevin Dolan, he likes the Wolves at minus 160 protection on the push. Protection on the tie. Ellery likes the Wolves on the money line at plus 122. Ellery, I would suggest maybe Dave coking that bet a little, and what we mean by that is put half on the money line and half on minus 160. Oh my God, Carm, are you kidding me? You've got a Juventus Cup as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
It just
Nick,
arrived today. It actually just arrived today. UPS. I ordered a bunch of stuff from the Juve store.
did you get me
and,
anything? I really could. See, Carm, you had an opportunity to make me a Juve fan. You know that, right? All you had to do was
Yeah.
buy me a shirt.
I know. I actually got. I ordered. I have 9 Juve masks to wear.
Yeah, no shirt.
I have a T-shirt for you.
No,
a Juve shirt.
no. I need a soccer shirt, especially one
No.
that makes me look like I'm in jail.
What?
I thought someone
no.
sent one.
Yeah, I thought
No.
someone sent one too. I don't know what the hell's going on.
You're getting one of these. Are you ready? I'm going to show
God.
it in the camera. This is the new Juve jerseys for next season. You pick one of these when they come out. Here we go. That is number 1.
Oh, I like
That's
that.
not orange.
Black, just awesome.
Yeah, that's
and
the
then
one.
they're going retro.
No, I don't want to be in jail.
All right. So yeah, the black one is absolutely awesome. So we'll go with that one.
Boys, let's take a look at David Tabati's question, and then we'll get into some more soccer. Is MLS starting there in the United States, and what about the Canadian Football League? Look, I'll answer the Canadian Football League. They don't know. But I will say this. If they don't play this year, that league might go under. The commissioner is freaking out. But there's no definitive answer unless, Carm, you can tell me something different on the Canadian Football League. And as for the MLS, they are starting again, but it is a completely different format. It's what we call the Nick Borrman. It's just a quickie. Carm?
Good one. I like.
Yeah, as far as the CFL goes, they're looking for help from the government right now. It doesn't look like there's going to be a season because this is a league that is dependent on ticket sales. They don't have that huge TV contract that other leagues have, so they can't survive if they have no fans, and they may have to nix the whole season, which is terrible for them. MLS starts next week on the 8th, which is Wednesday, with a couple games, Orlando and Inter Miami, the David Beckham-owned team. And then that's followed up with the other franchise, the new franchise, Nashville, taking on the Chicago Fire. So 2 games, 8 o'clock, 10:30, both Eastern time, and away we go. It's a World Cup style group stage, knockout stage, and finals, with only the group stage games counting towards the regular season standings.
Kylie Reynolds, welcome to the show. We love having you. Guys, if you got questions, we will answer them. Carmine, I moved. You know that. It was a hellish move. It's why I missed Wednesday's soccer show. My internet wasn't up to snuff. But I think the sound quality and video quality is perfect right now. Carm, you took a video of my backyard. Regale us, my brother.
Yeah, my God. This is what happens when you have too much money. I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit, but I think hopefully you guys can see this. But
move it over towards you. Yes, there you go. Perfect.
And
that's my porch. There's the pool. And there's the cabana, heated cabana with a television set in there as well, and mosquito nets that remote control come down. The rocks are a waterfall. But the best part, Carm, is behind the cabana. You have that for us?
Yeah, hold on. I walked down the stairs making sure.
Hot tub
like
going. Yeah, dude, I'm proud, man. I worked for my money. Nobody gave it to me.
No, you weren't.
Look at that. I got a basketball court in the backyard. Literally a basketball court in the backyard. Not no driveway court. Anyway, that's the house. Thanks for taking that video, bro. So I've got about 100 boxes still to pack. I'm going to, after the show, go look at them and then hit the pool. Okay. Let's get into your game, Nick. Let's go to Spain. Bilbao against Real Madrid, who have now taken over top spot over Barca. They've earned draws 4 of their last 5 meetings with Madrid. Can they steal some points here?
Well, quick, hopefully those listeners that watched, I guess, a few weeks back before the restart took Madrid plus 250 on my advice to win the league. They were down 2 at the time. Now they're up 4.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, they're up 4. I don't think they're going backwards from here. I think it's theirs all the way out now. But in this game, under 2.5 for me is the way I would look at it. It's tempting not to take Madrid. They've been playing awesome. They got 6 wins in 6 games so far since the restart, 4 clean sheets, a .53 expected goals against average. Again, number 1 ranked defense in the league, and they're now 4 points up on Barcelona for that league lead. Bilbao, they've been playing pretty well too. Their only loss is 0-1 at Barcelona, and they've climbed to 8th in the table, which is notable as the 7th spot earns a Europa qualification. So they're still fighting to possibly get some Europe berth for next year. They trail Sociedad by 2 points in that position. Bilbao are a tough team. They're gritty. They don't concede a lot of goals, but they have far outperformed their expected goals against average in that area. If you look at their standings, they've conceded just 28 goals so far this year, but expected goals against, which is a better metric to look at, and a more telling story of the true chances they're giving up, shows them conceding 42 goals, so 14 goals to the good there. They're the number 1 team in the league in regards to outperforming that metric. So, eventually those kind of work towards the mean, if you will, and I think we may see an uptick in goals against for them, but in this particular match, they're going to play just like they did against Barcelona. They're going to sit back. They're going to park the bus. And Madrid is a team that kind of welcomes that, and they're okay with that. And they're not going to push for anything unnecessary, and they will hold the ball. They'll pass it around. They won't look to do anything crazy. And when the opportunity is there, they're going to let their best players do their thing and hopefully score a goal and win 1-0, maybe 2-0. But Bilbao possibly could net one. But either way, I don't see more than 2 goals here either way. It's kind of one of those games that will probably take a while to get the first goal. And even when that happens, the other team's really just going to hold on. Again, Madrid have nothing no reason to push for goals. Once they get that lead, they are very, very good at protecting it. I just don't see many chances coming here. I think, again, this is going to be a slow-paced one. Neither team's going to be looking to score early, and I think when the opportunity is there, we'll finally see a goal. But I like the under here a lot. I don't normally throw out correct score, on totals because I'm just not 100% sure of the side. I do think Madrid would win this game, maybe 1-0, maybe 2-0, but plus 600, plus 700 prices aren't that attractive. So it's another way to play it if you really wanted to, but I think the under is the way to go here. I think it's going to be a tight, low-scoring affair.
Nick Borrman. You can find him at Wager Talk at Borman00 and Carmen Kev. Before we get into your thoughts on that game, Kylie Reynolds, good luck to your child. I hope he does make that team. But just out of curiosity, do you have to actually tell them that your child has diabetes? I mean, I don't know. Like, why? How would they know? I mean, can't you just send him out? And I mean, that part is a little bit. What do you think, Carm? Would you have to announce that?
I'm not sure. I've never heard of having to disclose that as far as one of the things. I'm sure that if you have a child who's on a team that is traveling to a different location where the parents aren't attending,
right,
then you have to disclose,
I would disclose
any medical condition. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I would have played that one, but I don't know how it works. Anyway, Carm, red card, yellow card, or no card for Nick Borrman?
No, I don't really think there's a card. The only yellow I would give Nick, and I completely agree with the thing with his thought on the total, would be maybe the Madrid winning here. This line just seems a little weird to me at minus 143 for the way Madrid is playing, but it also has to do with the way Atletico is playing. I do think that they are likely going to park the bus. I watched the Madrid game the other day against Getafe. They did struggle to break down Getafe and score, and that was at home. Obviously, it was a penalty very late in that game that gave them the 1-0 win I'm looking for a draw here. I'm going to go with a draw here at plus 290 is the draw price, and maybe the 0-0 at plus 900,
Wow.
or the 1-1 at plus 600.
What about both?
Which is the second lowest price there. Obviously, the Madrid 1-0 at plus 550 is the lowest correct score price there. But I agree with Nick in that I think the under is the play here. Bilbao's going to, I think, park the bus, look to get a point at home, counterattack when they get a chance, but they're going to make it one of those things where, hey, Madrid, try and break us down. And I think 4 of the last 5 in this series have ended in draws. Of a couple 1-1s and a couple 0-0 score lines mixed in with one Madrid 3-0 win.
Kev?
Yeah, completely agree with both guys. I mean, I circled the draw myself. You know what I'm like for draws, but because I got burned a few times this week, I was like, you can pick up Bilbao +1 -140. Gives you the cover, obviously, if they lose 1-0. But yeah, again, with Nick's thing with the under, you know, Bilbao, best goals allowed record in the league this season at home, gave up just 9 goals. So, I mean, how can you not like the under with those kind of stats?
He's Kevin Dolan, Carmine Bianco, Nick Borrman. All of them can be found at wagertalk.com. And we have a promo up for everybody. It's July 50. Use that at wagertalk.com. Get $50 off of a month of everyone's plays. We got so much coming down the pipe at Wager Talk and Sports Memo, plus the Gold Sheet. A real quick shout out to the Gold Sheet, the oldest sports betting publication on the planet. It's been around since the 1950s. It's an absolutely iconic brand. We bought the company last year. And I just want to let everyone know, if they head over to wagertalk.com, after about 15 seconds on the front page, there will be a pop-up window. Give us your email address and you will get the first NFL week free. The entire Gold Sheet free. Week 1 of the NFL. Just head over there and give us your email address. Carm, Juventus hosts Torino. You decide who talks about which game. Surprisingly, you picked Juve. And surprisingly, without even listening to your analysis or knowing your thoughts, you're going to tell us that Juve is the right side. So go.
Well, maybe not. But this actually, for the guys tuning in, this will be tomorrow's live in-game betting with Nick Borrman and I. So we'll be on YouTube tomorrow at 11:05. The game goes at 11:15. But yeah, it's the Derby del Mole, which is obviously named after a landmark in the city where both these teams play, and it's the landmark is Mole. Antoni Liana is the landmark. But this series has been one-sided, and especially over the last 26 games, where Juve have won 20, drawn 6 times, lost once. That loss came back in 2015, where they lost 2-1 to Torino. They have a 4-point lead over Lazio right now with 9 games to go. Torino, they're not having a very good season. They're on 6 points above the relegation line, having gone 1 win, 1 draw, and 8 losses. But this team loves to play Juve, despite that 1 win in 27 games. They throw everything they have at this team. It's kind of like in hockey, the rivalries with Montreal and Toronto, where they just love to try and beat them. But they rely on one player, and that's Belotti. You literally stop that guy up front, and you neutralize the attack that Torino has. It's sad to see the team playing the way they are. Juve, since the restart, they've won all 3 games in the league, 9-1 goal differential, and that attack of Dybala and Ronaldo are playing fantastic right now because they're now playing closer together. Playing closer together. They have the same pace into the box, which makes it harder for that back line. In the 3 games, they've both scored each of the 3 games, so they've accounted for 6 of those 9 goals. Bernardeschi's helping them. They have Douglas Costa, who could He could be starting for this team, but he's more valuable coming off the bench. He gives them another gear in the second half. Gigi Buffon, the old man at 40, what is he, 43, I think? He's going to start this game.
I consider that young. Just saying.
He's going to start this game, which will give him the record of most appearances in Italy in Serie A at 648 over a legend from AC Milan, Paolo Maldini, who I used to love watching that guy for the Italian national team. This is the thing. We're playing in every league. It's an atypical moment right now. We're playing in empty stadiums. Anything can happen on a game-to-game basis, which we saw switching over to Chelsea that went to West Ham and just played a terrible game. You just don't know from game to game how a team's going to play. But Juve have a stretch where if they are serious about winning the crown, the next 5 games are huge. You have this derby now. Then they go to AC Milan in 3 days. They have Nick's favorite Italian team, Atalanta.
Oh, boy.
4 days after that. And then 9 days after that, they play Lazio. This 5-game stretch decides whether they win this title or not. If they can get by this, then they definitely win this crown. Torino's going to defend, but Juve, I think, get the 3 points eventually. I'm going to lay the goal and a half and go with the exact score of 3-0 at plus 650. 3-0 plus 650. That's not a big price.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that. So we'll get back to that in a second. But Kev, red card, yellow card, or no card for Carmine?
Small yellow. And the only reason is because I do agree with him. I just can't see there being many goals because he just said like Torino parked the bus. I just think it'll be 1 or 2-0 max. But hey, it's not a play for me, so it could well be true.
Nicholas?
No card for me. I agree on the 1.5 goal line. For what it's worth, last week in the live show, Carm and I agreed pre-match on the bet. We didn't win that, but we got better numbers in game, made out, and not only won money at the end. Well, we recouped our money that we didn't win in the pregame, and then won a little bit at the end of the game. So take that for what it's worth. So we'll probably look to put more on them if things are going as expected. But it's got to be Juve here. I think they're going to win. I don't like laying the goal and a half, but I think that's the only way to play it. So I'm on the same side.
Guys, I got 2 questions. One from me, one from Justin Bilbo, and welcome to the show, Justin. Same with you, Robert S. I didn't welcome you. My apologies. And Talisman, nice to have you with us, brother. Justin Bilbo, could I get your take on Atletico Madrid? Mallorca. They have the same name twice. Anyway,
Mallorca.
You can see what he wrote. Talk to me.
Anyone you guys want to go, or should I start this first? I'll go real quick. Atletico Madrid come off a big game in Barcelona where I think they literally killed the Barcelona chances of winning a title by taking the 2 points away from them. They got both their goals coming from behind, and both on penalties, and that was after missing a penalty as well too that had to be retaken because the goalie came off the line a little bit. Mallorca surprised everyone, 5-1 win over Celta, but Atletico's just playing too well right now. I would lay the goal and a half here, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I lean the 1.5 too, but I can't play it. I think, yeah, it's more of a lean than a play.
And Nicholas?
Madrid to 0. It could be a 1-0. Sometimes Madrid struggles to get that goal, but I like them to 0.
Okay, here's my question, and Kev, I'll go to you first on this. We talk a lot about exact scores. Carmine gave out a 1-0 score at plus 900. How often are you betting that style? Because in soccer, with so few goals scored, it really feels like there's a lot of value in that type of bet.
True, it's something that I don't do. As the guys know, like I tend to back just draws. I love my draws because they've been proven to be profitable over the last 6 seasons. But nah, not so much because when I'm looking at a draw, I think it might go either way, 1-0 either way. I tend to back off so much. I know Nick loves the correct score market, so it's not something I tend to do.
Nick?
Yeah, I do. I usually put a correct score. I'll usually bet 2. as long as the odds are decent. But I'll usually pick 2. You get a good feel for the game pre-match. Obviously, when you're on a side, you think you know what's going to happen, and getting value of as low as maybe plus 600 or 700, all the way up to plus 2,000 or more. It's well worth it. I mean, you're not putting your full wager amount of money on these. You're putting pizza and beer dollars on them, but you can make money on them over time if you think you have a good read on a side. You know how these games play out. History tends to repeat itself in a lot of these head-to-head matchups. So for me, it's been very profitable. I only really do them, like I said, when I look at sides. On totals, I'm more or less just not 100% sure on the side, so it's harder to pick. But I love them.
Carm?
Yeah, a small percentage of your bankroll. You don't want to put a lot because these are essentially prop bets. Put a little bit, but it's what you do. I think on the show on Wednesday, I gave Manchester City was my play, and over. I think it was over 3 goals was my play, and I gave a correct score of 3-1 Man City with at plus 1,400. And technically, I know the play lost. Technically, Man City did score 3 goals. Liverpool did score a goal. Unfortunately, Oxley Chamberlain scored in his own goal, so it was a 4-0 final for Man City. So it does not count as a 3-1 correct score. But
I want you to know that I bet Man City, and I don't bet a lot of soccer on my own. But Liverpool just had nothing to play for. And I think this Man City team is just rolling right now, and their strikers are unbelievable. I think they're a tough out against anybody. I think the TFC might have them.
No, the funny thing is, Prez, when you talk about it, is their season, their league season is over. But here's the thing: is last year, Liverpool finished second in the EPL and went on and won the Champions League, and they were happy with it. This year, they won the league and were eliminated from Champions League, and Man City will finish second, and they're still in the Champions League and returning home with a lead over Real Madrid. So that's going to be such a great game to watch. Leg 2 of the round of 16.
Boys, a couple of more topics, and then we'll call it a show. Make sure, guys, to take advantage of our promo today, $50 off of a month of any one of our soccer experts' bets. Kevin Dolan, Carmine Bianco, Nick Borrman, and the Greek god himself, Pavlos, who's probably busy right now with 6 different women in the same room. Promo code July50. Head over to wagertalk.com and get down on that. Kev, no, I'm going to you, Carm. Consensus pick time. Fill us in.
Yeah, so our consensus pick is going to come in Spain. It is going to be the and this one is a close one on all the prices. It's Granada at home hosting Valencia, like the orange. And I'm going to throw to. Yes, I'm going to throw it.
Well, why am I getting a Valencia shirt?
You don't want their jersey.
I am going to throw it to Nick first because he's a fan of this Granada team. So I'll throw it to Nick first here.
Yeah, I do like Granada this year. I've won quite a bit on them. I also won midweek. They were plus a quarter of a goal at Alaves, and they won 2-0 there. They played very well. They're a promoted team this year, but you really wouldn't know it if you were just kind of looking at the table. They're 9th in the table. They have a +2 goal differential. So anything on the positive side for a promoted team coming into La Liga is very impressive. At home, they're tough. They're 9-2-5, +7 on the differential. And only 3 teams in the league have allowed fewer goals at home. Since the restart, they've been pretty much like they were all year. They have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. Both did come at home, though, to Eibar and Villarreal, so that's worth noting. But Valencia, they've just had a terrible start since the restart. They've been blanked 4 times. Of course, they lost all 4 of those. And they have 1 win and 1 draw. The 0-3 loss at Real Madrid wasn't really unexpected, but they lost their last 3 games without scoring a single goal to Eibar, Villarreal, and Bilbao with a XG, expected goals number, of just 0.59. So they're just not getting any chances. Their average over the 6 games is 0.81 expected goals, and that is with a 1.9 expected goals tally in the 1 win they had over Osasuna. So they've really been just dull, lackluster, unattractive in every way offensively. So I like Granada here. I think it's very safe on the two-way line. If it draws, it's just a push for us. So I think that's the way to play this one. Granada plus 0 on the two-way line.
Boys, it's time for the Luis Suarez Award for the week. Kevin Dolan, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, this is an obvious one for me. I mean, me and Carmine were talking about this last night. Tottenham-Sheffield United game. Sheffield United go 1-0 up. Tottenham are a team who rely on a lot on momentum. Jose Mourinho even said that himself in the press conference after the game.
That
but
guy's still a coach, but
I don't
go
either.
on.
Well, he's a name anyway. But basically in the game, Sheffield United go 1-0 up. Tottenham immediately go down. Lucas Moura's running. He's got 3 players on him. He's running into the box. He gets pushed over. Right, he gets pushed over. Harry Kane picks up the ball, cuts into the box, puts it in the back of the net. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It goes to VAR. They say that Lucas Moura touched the ball. Now, I've watched it a couple of times. It seems to hit the top of his shoulder. It's like where do you want it? Yeah, so technically, yes, I suppose you could say the ball hit his arm. But the point about it is, if you're being pushed to the ground, where do you want him to fall? Do you want him, Keanu Reeves out the Matrix? He's supposed to, where do you want him to fall? It only grazed the ball. It was just a ridiculous decision, which, some guy with a book is going, yeah, well, technically it's a handball or whatever. But, use some common sense. Use some common sense with the decision. It was a goal. It should have stood. And then if it had stood, Tottenham, one of those teams, it changes the dynamic of the game if it's 1-1 at that point before half-time. But I just thought it was a ridiculous decision. I'm not alone. Twitter was firing up last night about it. So
yeah, and we actually had one of our listeners come on in at the beginning of the show and just basically go off on VR.
Yeah, it deflated the team. It absolutely deflated the team. It's so stupid. I watched the replay, and I think I said to Kev, I'm like, I've watched the replay 3-4 times. I don't see where it's actually hit his hand. Didn't hit his hand. It didn't look like it hit his arm, and it looked like the player kicked it into Mora's shoulder blade, and somehow the VAR official, who I'm going to name right now, Michael Oliver, who I cannot stand Michael Oliver. I hate Michael Oliver.
Michael Oliver.
And I hate nobody.
Don't know who you are. Boo.
Well, actually, I don't hate him. I dislike Michael Oliver, and it's mainly because a couple years ago, Juve went to Real Madrid in leg 2, down 3-0, scored 3 goals. It's about to head to extra time, and then he awarded a penalty kick to Real Madrid. Ronaldo scored. He gave Buffon a red card. And I've been searching for Michael Oliver ever since.
Yeah, Michael Oliver, Carmine Bianco is searching for you. I would not be too concerned if you do bump into him at some point. Nick, Carm, so you're going with the same guy for your Luis Suarez Award?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That was I just don't get it. It killed one of my bets, which. Maybe I'm a little thing, but in the purity of the game and in the replays, I just don't see I don't see a replay that shows a handball and taking away that goal. So I think it's just
we should call
I think
it
it's just a terrible decision.
We should call it the Maradona Award then today.
But before you go to Nick, before we cut out, just a couple guys have asked for the German Cup final tomorrow, so let's hit that.
Okay, Nick, if you could just say "book" while you're talking, "book." That's one of the finest Irish words in the world. So let's open the book. And what is your Luis Suarez Award?
Mine was probably for personal reasons. It was on my 5%. It was on my 5% play yesterday as Werder Bremen just couldn't do anything against. It's the entire team. They were playing a team from 7th in Bundesliga 2. Couldn't do anything against them. Couldn't break them down from the wings. They couldn't get anything offensively going. They played their best soccer after they got a red card. So I guess I'm giving the Suarez Award to having 11 guys on the field. They should have won with 10. They probably would have won.
There you go. Okay, Carm, talk German Cup final, and then we'll get out of here. I need to go look at boxes before I swim.
Yeah. I know you do, but I'm just going to test your knowledge here for a second. If someone said to you, go grab the torch and it's in the boot, Do you know what you'd be looking for and where?
I'm South African, dude. Move on.
You haven't answered the question.
Yes. The boot. The boot is the trunk.
And what is the torch?
Oh, I don't know, but I know the boot.
It's a flashlight.
Oh, yeah, the torch. You're right. We used to call it that, but I know the boot because my parents still call the boot the boot.
All right. Before you give us the boot on this show,
Oh, look at you.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
It is the German Cup final tomorrow. This is played in Berlin. It's Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich, of course. Munich's a 350 favorite, which it should make them about a goal and a half favorite. Here, they're minus 800 to lift the trophy. This is the only thing Leverkusen have going for them is to try and win this game because they fizzled out at the end of the season, cost them a Champions League spot, so they'll be in Europa next season. As far as I'm concerned, there's only one way to play this, and it's Bayern Munich to win the game. Nick?
Yeah, Bayern. Honestly, when we were talking about the Champions League before, I was going to mention we were talking about Man City. I was going to say my team right now that's the highest on the list is Bayern. The way they just came back out of the restart and played and just crushed everybody. It's hard to fade them. I mean, this series produces a lot of overs.
Yeah, I was
there's
going to say that.
Yeah, there's 4 goals,
gonna say that.
7 in the last 8 games. So maybe you could look at the combo market of Bayern and over to get a little cheaper price on both sides. But I can't make really an argument for Leverkusen over Bayern here.
Kevin Dolan, what's in your book?
It's very simple in my book. I don't do cup games. I just like last week, Norwich, Man United. I'm sitting there watching Wolves Villa. So yeah, I just like league.
You a Cardinals fan there, Kev?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And it's don't tell my family because they're all Red Sox. But yeah, I like the Cards.
Boys, Robert S. writes, in what anatomy book? I just wanted to say that again. Does a shoulder have fingers? Robert, an elbow doesn't have fingers either, nor does a wrist, nor does a forearm, nor does a bicep or tricep. And yet all of those count as handball. Boys, it has been a privilege and a joy to do this show with you guys. I missed you so much on Wednesday. I do want to say that we are having a discussion on whether I'm going to continue hosting Stoppage Time come August or Carm is going to take over. So that'll be topic number 1 on Wednesday's show. We're going to have a vote. That's going to put everybody in a tough position. I have no doubt most of the people in the chat room will pick Carm, and I respect that. Boys, have a great in-game live betting show tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's the Juve game. Carm and Nick will be taking it apart. Make sure to join them, 11 a.m., not 11:30. Make sure to join them. You guys made some money last week doing it, right, Carm?
Yeah, we did. I funded an account, a separate account. We put in a whole bunch of bets. We throw the bets into the chat 15 minutes before the game starts. So guys who want to take the pregame bets can take those and then follow along on whether we're hedging them out or topping them up or just putting in brand new bets. And all the profits will go. The first set will go to Vegas and an animal rescue there that Minty and Kelly deal with. And then the second round, when we do this again, it'll go to our Detroit office and the fantastic customer service girls.
Outstanding. And
Women.
yeah, shout out to
Women.
M2, Missy and Melissa, our customer service girls over at our head office in Detroit. Guys, thank you so much for doing this with me. Kev, we'll see you on Friday of next. Carmine and Nick, Wednesday.
Happy 4th of July, by the way.
Oh, yes. Happy 4th of July for everybody in America. I hope you guys social distance, party hard with your masks on, rock on. Rock on. Yeah, that's me, a 52-year-old rocker, 51-year-old. I don't know how I got to 52, but I'm losing my shit. We'll speak to you all later. Be well, everybody.